Hi there, Angela Shows You community. How are you doing today? So I wanted to take a couple minutes and talk about some, real life things. So I was looking at my auto insurance policy the other day, not really sure exactly what prompted me to do that, but I was looking at my auto insurance policy and so I found a couple things that I wanted to take action on, and then I thought, let's talk about this because this is probably going to be good and useful information for other people to know as well. So I want to share with you some tips and ideas on ways to save money on your car insurance. So, as I was looking at my policy, and let me start by saying two things. I am not a financial advisor. This is just things that I have learned over the years as a consumer. And this video is not at all sponsored by any insurance company, or, I'm not even going to name who our auto insurer is because it doesn't matter. These ideas are going to be relevant no matter who your insurer is, and if you're looking for a new insurer, maybe just some things to keep in mind. So, first thing first is was doing a little bit of research because I was curious about the safe driver classes. So we've all probably heard of the safe driver classes, aka defensive driving. So what this is it's usually, I think it's like a 6-hour class. Sometimes it's done on Saturdays. Some places offer it like 2 weekdays, like Tuesday and Thursday for 3 hours a day or whatever. But those classes are offered they're offered online now, which is actually, pretty convenient. But you could also look like on the DMV site and see if if your local DMV has places that offer in-person classes that you can sit down. And also another place to keep in mind if you're looking to take a safe driving class is your local school district. So our local school district, a few times a year, they send out a little like a flyer brochure, and they offer community classes. And sometimes they offer classes on like, photography or like some kind of life planning or whatever, but they usually have some like the defensive driver class listed in there as well. And you go right to one of the local schools, and they're usually 2 days a week. In fact, last time I took this defensive driving class, I went to our local school 2 days in 1 week for 3 hours a shot, and sat through the whole course. And then when I left, they had provided a certificate that I was then able to share with my insurance company. And so what this defensive driver class does is it offers a 10% off of your insurance premium for 3 years, and it'll also take 4 points off your license. So if you have some tickets, your insurance has gone up, and you also have some points on your license. So this is a good way to take points, up to 4 points off of your license. So I actually did a little bit of math, and if both my husband and I were to take this class, at a cost of $50 total, we would save $86 in our policy period. So policy periods are 6 months. So we would save $86 a policy period, which is $172 a year. And that's not bad for a $50 investment and 6 hours. So I live in New York State. I've mentioned this before. So the New York Safety Council offers this class, the safe driver class, online. It's $24.95. So like I said, a $50 investment, I'm going to save $86 and my 6-month policy period, $172 for the year times 3, because this class is good for 3 years. So that's over $500 savings over the course of 3 years. If that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I actually also took a look on AARP. If you're an AARP member, it looked to me like AARP actually charges $32. So AARP is not a discount as far as I can tell. There's another website that I found called idrivesafely.com, IDRIVESAFLEY, idrivesafely.com, another $24.95. So for about $25, you can save, depending on what your premium is, you can save money and for 3 years. So I also, I will mention that our insurance premium is higher for a couple reasons that I need to also address. One is we have an at-fault accident that's on our insurance policy, and I did a little bit of research, and accidents stay on your insurance policy for 3 to 5 years, depending on your state and kind of what the rules and regulations are in your state. So this accident actually was 2 years ago, so we have probably at least another year before that accident falls off. So there's a surcharge on our policy for an auto accident in which we were at fault. So another way to, keep your insurance policy premium lower is to not get into an accident, so that there's no accident surcharges that are applied to your policy. Accidents happen. I mean, there's sometimes you just can't avoid an accident, but as long as you're alert and paying attention when you're driving, then, you're probably a step ahead of the game. Because unfortunately, there are so many people out there who are driving around who don't pay attention. So we need to just always be on our game when we are behind the wheel of our vehicles. Being in an accident, it's a headache anyway. It's a pain in the butt. If you have damage, to your car, then you've got to take it to the collision shop. And just these days, everything is taking longer. So, like this accident, when my husband and I were in this accident and he took it to the collision shop, it was like a month that they had his car in the shop while they got the part and then fixed it. So there was a month that we were down. We had one car for those weeks that his car was being repaired due to this accident. So not only is it a financial penalty that's applied to your insurance, but then it's just inconvenient. If you are not in a position that you can be without one of your household cars, then you have the expense also of a rental car that just kind of adds to the financial burden of the accident. So another tip is to make sure that you bundle if possible. So not all insurances call it bundling. I know there's one that talks about bundling your insurance, but like our insurance calls it a multi-line discount. And what that means is we have our auto and our home policy on the same they're together. So they give you a multi-line discount because you are giving them more than one line of business. We actually had that with our old insurance before we switched to this new insurance policy that we have. But when I called for a quote, when we moved and bought this house a few years ago, our current auto insurer actually came in significantly higher than our previous auto insurer did. So we currently actually have our auto insurance with one company and our homeowners insurance with another company, because even with that multi-line discount, it was still more. So I actually chose to have two companies, one for our auto and one for our home. But this is a topic that I actually relook at every couple years, just to make sure, because your insurance company, like, the rates change. So it may cost more before, but circumstances change, policy rates change, and whatnot. So these things are worth spending 15 or 20 minutes researching every couple of years, just to see, has something changed? Can you offer me a policy at a different rate that then would make it worth making that switch? So it could be a 15-minute phone call, well worth the time that it takes, if you can have multiple lines of business with one, then you would get that discount, and then it's a financial savings, so it makes it worth that investment of the time doing the research. So another reason that I need to call my insurer is, as I was looking at my policy, I discovered that we have a $500 deductible. Okay, it's nice when you're in an accident to only be responsible for $500. However, if you increase your deductible to either $1,000 or $1,500, then your premium reduces a pretty significant amount. I'm actually not even sure how we got on the $500 deductible, because we had a $1,000 deductible. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. So this is going to generate a phone call on my end to my auto insurer to say, what is the premium difference between $500 and $1,000? My guess is it's going to be a good amount. So I will make the change to a $1,000 deductible, because let's face it, hopefully the odds that you are in an accident are slim, and the savings of the premium will be a benefit to having a higher deductible. So that's another thing that you might want to consider. Take a look at your policy. What is your deductible? Can you bump the deductible up, which would in turn reduce your monthly premium? Something to consider. Maybe you do that, and then for 6 months or a year, you take that savings and set it aside in a savings account or in an envelope somewhere. And then if you are unfortunately in an accident, you have that money to use for the deductible. You do that. So if you go from a $500 to $1,000 deductible, take the insurance premium savings, set that aside for $500. Then after that, you've got realized savings. You have money in your bank account every month when you pay your insurance bill. Then you're realizing that savings as added funds that are available to you. So making sure that you have the correct coverage is also very important, kind of along those same lines. Make sure that your home is insured for the right amounts. Make sure, that you're not paying for coverage that you don't need. Same with your car insurance. Make sure that you're not paying for coverage that you don't need. So following along in those steps is update how many miles you drive. Most insurance policies assume that you drive 1,000 miles a month, aka 12,000 miles a year. However, since the Great Shutdown, many of us work from home full time. So you may not drive your car as many miles as you used to if you were commuting to and from work. I only drove my car 500 miles, and I know that only because when we took my car in to have it inspected, the person that inspected it 1 year to the next year said, you only put 500 miles on your car in the last 12 months. So some carriers, some policies that have that built in, if you're driving less, you're less risk to insure because you're not on the road commuting to and from work. So you may be able to reduce your insurance premium a little bit by saying to them, hey, I work from home now, or I have a new job, I'm commuting 10 miles instead of 20. And see if, they can work with you a little bit on your premium because you're not behind the wheel driving the distances, and so you could save a little bit of money that way. And kind of the last thing that I wanted to mention, this was actually brought to my attention by my old insurer, is that your credit score has an impact on your auto insurance premium. I don't necessarily think that that's fair, but in New York State anyway, and I did do a little bit of research on this, and New York isn't the only state. Some states allow your auto insurer to pull your credit report. So if you have a poor credit score, your insurance is going to be higher. Apparently, some study was done and they determined that people with lower credit scores were higher risk drivers, and people with better risk scores were better drivers. Like I said, not really sure that I agree with that, but I mean, it is what it is, right? So if you have a lower credit score, something that you may want to do is see what you can do to increase your credit score, pay off some debt, make sure that you pay all your bills every month on time, bump your credit score up, and then hopefully when your insurance renews, especially if you're setting a goal to improve your credit score and you've paid some debt off or down and your credit score is bumped up a little bit, and you are in a state that uses your credit score to figure out your insurance premium, if you've improved your credit score, you may want to bring that to the attention of your insurance carrier and say, hey, my credit score has increased by 50 points or 100 points. You want them to pull your credit report because it's going to be financially beneficial to you, because you will see the savings in your insurance premium. So I hope that these tips and tricks will provide a little bit of benefit to you. I hope that you are able to apply some of them to your real life's financial situation, and I hope that I'm able to save you a little bit of money in your car insurance, homeowner's insurance, and your premiums. If you found this information helpful, I do hope that you will consider giving this video a thumbs up and let me know if I've missed something. If you have another tip or trick that you would be willing to share, please leave a comment in the comment section and let other people know so that we can all benefit from your experience as well. Thanks.